Hello dear students, in this lecture we are starting with our 5th module and I am going to discuss about the implementation and performance of voltage source inverter fed induction motor drives. In this lecture we are focusing on 3-phase voltage source inverter or a 6-step inverter implementation of the 3-phase voltage source inverter. First we will see a review of a voltage source inverter. As you are all familiar with, it converts DC to AC, which is this AC is a variable voltage and or variable frequency. So when viewed from the load side, the AC terminals of the inverter function as a voltage source. It has low internal impedance, because of which even if there are variations in load which is connected at its terminals, the terminal voltage will remain substantially constant. So why do we need a voltage source inverter connected induction motor? We have already discussed about stator voltage control, stator frequency control, V by F control, isn't it? So in order to implement these, if you want to change the value of voltage that is applied to the inverter along with the frequency, or independently the voltage or independently the frequency, you can control that using the voltage source inverter. We'll see how. Now here you can see the 3-phase voltage source inverter power circuit diagram. A DC voltage source VD is connected and it is converted to AC across these terminals A, B and C using this 3-phase voltage source inverter. This is the symbol of the switch that is used. It can be any self-commutated switches like BJT, power BJT, or MOSFET, or GTO or IGCTs depending on the power levels, or inverter grade thyristors. The most important point is self-commutation should be there, or thyristor with commutation circuit can be used here, and this diode symbol shows the direction of current through the switch when it is turned on, the allowable direction of current, and these are the anti-parallel diodes which are connected across each switch. So the numbering of the switch is in this order: S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 and S6, and these are the sequences. In the numbering is according to the order in which each switch is turned on using the gate signals. As you all know, if it is a power BJT, it is a current control device, MOSFET a voltage control device. So see here IGBTs are also used. I think it's not IGBT here. Okay, so depending on that, these control signals may be current signals or voltage signal which is used to turn on a switch, and the duration of each control signal. See here you can see IC1 to IC6 or 6 control signals for each switch, and the duration of each control signal during a period of 2 pi is pi radians, and the subsequent switches are, there is a delay of 60 degree between each switch. So once IC1 is applied and switch S1 is turned on, after 60 degree S2 is turned on, then after a 60 degree from this time instant, you can see S3 is turned on and it goes on. Okay, so for analysis purpose we are going to divide this time interval 0 to 2 pi into 6 equal time intervals, and each time interval is of 60 degree duration. So we are going to see the first time interval and find out the output voltage of this 6-step inverter. I hope you are all familiar with the 6-step inverter from your power electronic circuits. Still we'll see how the switches are turned on during each period. You can see the 6 intervals here, okay, and how the control signals are applied to each switch. So in the first interval, if you see, IC1, IC5 and IC6 are on, applied here. So switch 1 is on, switch 5 is on and switch 6 is on. In the second interval, you can see again switch 1 is remaining on and switch 2 is turned on, and again 6 is remaining on. So like that, if you form a table, you get it like this. During the first interval, the switches 1, 5, 6 are on. Second interval 1, 2, 6 are on, and so on. So in that case, if you observe the terminal voltages or the voltage across these terminals ABC, okay, you see what is VAB, VBC and VCA during the first interval. Here you see these are the 6 intervals. This is the output line voltage waveform. VAB is shown here. You see how we are getting this 6 interval. Okay. So when switch S1 is on, S5 is on, that is, and S6 is on during the first interval. You see the voltage across this terminal A and B. A is connected to the positive rail and this B is connected through the switch to the rail, negative rail. So what is the voltage across VAB? This VD is coming across VD. Positive VD is coming across VAB. So VAB here is plus VD. That is shown here. VAB is plus VD. Okay, what about VBC? B, we are measuring across B and C. If you are using a measuring instrument here, the positive terminal is connected across B and N. So this B is connected to minus VD through the switch and C is connected to the positive rail through the switch. Okay, so what is the voltage VBC here? It is minus VD. It is minus VD. What about VCA? C is connected to the positive rail. A is also connected to the positive rail, which means the difference between the voltages across the terminal A and C, VCA will be 0 here. Okay, this is about the first interval. Okay, similarly, if you analyze for every interval, you will get a line voltage waveform in this fashion. VAB will be positive till here, then it will be 0, then again it goes negative to minus VD when you keep on analyzing for all the 6 intervals in this fashion. Okay, considering the switch turning on and turning off of the switches. Now we will see the phase voltage waveform here. You know, you are familiar with this waveform. The phase voltage waveform, you can see it is a 6-step waveform. So this is the time interval we are discussing, 1 to 6. So how do we get this first interval? How can we find out this? This VAB, you know it is, if you connect a 3-phase load here, if you connect the for the time being I am connecting it here. If you connect a 3-phase balanced star connected load here, suppose it is your induction motor. This is the neutral terminal. So what is VAB? VAB is VAN plus VNB. VAN plus VNB. It is equal to plus VD in the first interval. Similarly, VBC. Line voltage VBC is VBN plus VNC. This is minus VD. Okay. Now if you find out VAB minus VBC, you get 2VD is equal to VAN plus VNB minus VBN minus VNC. isn't it? Okay, now the next slide we'll see. I'm repeating it here. V2VD is equal to VAN plus VNB minus VBN minus VNC, or VAN plus VNB. This minus VBN is again VN plus VNB, isn't it? And this is plus VCN. Okay. Now you know that for a balanced load, VAN plus VBN plus VCN equal to 0. So this, if I rewrite this equation, I write it as VAN plus VBN I give here plus VCN minus VBN. I am adding and subtracting VBN plus 2VNB. Okay. Or this is equal to VAN plus VBN plus VCN equal to 0, or 2VD is equal to minus VBN minus 2 times VBN, or minus 3 VBN. Or what do you get VBN as? VBN is equal to minus 2 by 3 VD, or VNB equal to 2 by 3 VD. Now if I substitute this expression for VNB in the first equation here, the first equation, this VNB is substituted here, you can get VAN then, isn't it? So you get VAB is equal to, from here I am going to substitute VAN is plus VNB is 2 by 3 VD is equal to VD, or you get VAN equal to VD minus 2 by 3 VD, or it is VD by 3. Okay, you are analyzing the voltage waveform for the first interval. So here you see it is VAN, we have plotted here the phase voltage waveform, it is equal to 1 by 3 VD. Similarly, if you go on analyzing VAB, VBC, VCA, and then from those expressions, if you find out the phase voltages, you will get a waveform like this. You can do it for yourself for all the 6 intervals, and the 6-step waveform is obtained. You can see the current waveform here, IA, the current through the terminal A. If you are connecting an inductive load, you can see that it is in this interval from here to here, current is negative and voltage is positive. Current is lagging behind the voltage, and in this interval both current and voltage are positive. You can say that the fundamental of the AC output voltage is a sinusoidal wave for the 6-step inverter, and in this first interval itself you can see current is positive as well as negative. So when the current is positive, here current is flowing through the switch S1. The switch S1 will allow current in this direction only. So what about this interval when current is negative? So in that case, current is flowing through the anti-parallel diode, because voltage is still positive and this switch is turned on. So but it will allow current flow in this direction only. So the diode is conducting in that interval when current is negative. So this particular arrangement of anti-parallel diode is required when we connect an inductive load across the terminals of the inverter. Next we will see the Fourier series expansion of these. The VAB Fourier series expansion is given by this expression, and the phase voltage is given by this expression. If you analyze, you can, if you are interested, you can find out the Fourier series expansion of these waveforms. You will get an expression like this, where you can see 5th, 7th, 11th and 13th harmonics are present. You can see even harmonics are absent here, and triplet harmonics or multiples of 3 are also absent. So only odd harmonics are present here of the order k is equal to 6n plus or minus 1. Okay, so third harmonics are absent, so there is no problem of circulating current in delta connected stator winding. And the RMS value of fundamental phase voltage is given by this expression. Okay. So, how do you use this 6-step inverter for variable voltage and frequency control? So, induction motor control will require simultaneous variation of frequency and voltage. So, in this 6-step inverter, how can you control the frequency? This can be done by varying the time period of one cycle. So, how is the time period of one cycle changed? You can do that by varying the duration of control signals IC1 to IC6. Okay, that time period if you control, that duration if you control and reduce the time or increase the time, you can control the frequency of the supply, which is given by the inverter. Then from the equations of your Fourier series equations of the output voltage, phase voltage and line voltage, you can see that fundamental output voltage is fixed. So this can be varied by controlling the DC input voltage which is given to the inverter. Okay. These are the schemes which are used to implement a 6-step inverter drive. So in order to control the output fundamental voltage of the inverter, the input to the DC input to the inverter has to be controlled. So this VDC which is given to the inverter will be varied to vary the fundamental output voltage. So how is this implemented? When a DC source is used, as in the case of a battery operated vehicle or the drives which are powered by solar cells, etc., a chopper is connected to control the DC voltage which is given to the inverter. So along with the chopper, you can see an LC filter is connected between the chopper and inverter. This is connected to maintain a ripple-free DC voltage at the output of the, at the input of the inverter. Now when the supply is AC, this scheme is used with a control rectifier and an LC filter. So this control rectifier will produce a variable DC at its output. That is, from this AC supply, a variable DC can be produced here by controlling the thyristor rectifier connected here. Okay, but this scheme has some drawbacks. That is, there will be high magnitude of low frequency harmonics in the rectifier output and source current, and the low power factor of this rectifier at low output voltages. Okay, so the purpose of the filter is same here, but due to the presence of low frequency harmonics in the rectifier output voltage, the filter capacitor will be much larger. So the filter will be bulkier here, and the response of the drive will be slow because of the large time constant. Okay, then in order to overcome the drawbacks of this scheme, a diode bridge rectifier and a chopper. So there are two power stages here, and these two are connected to the output to the AC supply, and a variable DC is produced here. This diode bridge has another advantage apart from this maintaining the fundamental power factor at unity. It can also provide a common DC supply for multiple inverters. But the losses are increased here due to the use of an additional power stage here. Okay, so with this we are connecting the inverters to the induction motor, voltage source inverters, and the output voltage is varied using these schemes to vary the input DC voltage to the inverter. So what are the drawbacks of the schemes which we have discussed so far? So these are the schemes for 6-step inverter. So here the first point is that because of the presence of low frequency harmonics, the motor losses are increased at all the speeds, and this will cause derating of the motor. The second point is the torque pulsations at low speeds due to the presence of 5th, 7th, 11th and 13th harmonics. We know that the 7th harmonic will cause a rotating magnetic field in the forward direction, and the 5th harmonic will cause a rotating magnetic field in the reverse direction. So the interaction of these fields will produce torque pulsations. The next point is the harmonic content will increase at low speed and it will increase the losses. So why does the harmonic content of the output voltage increase with a decrease in motor speed? What will happen there? At low frequencies, that is, frequency has to be reduced to reduce the speed. Okay, the filter will become less effective at low frequencies because of the low frequency harmonics in the inverter input current. Also, in the second scheme which we have discussed here, you can see that a large harmonic content is there in the output voltage of the rectifier. So because of these, as a harmonic content increase at low speeds, losses will increase. You can see that there will be losses in the resistance of the induction machine. To compensate the stator resistance drop, what will be done? The input voltage will have to be increased. This V will have to be increased. Okay, so that will cause an increase in V by F ratio. If V by F ratio increases, the flux will increase, and that will lead to saturation of the core. So if saturation of the core occurs, it will draw additional magnetizing current also. So ultimately the motor current will increase. Apart from the harmonic component, harmonic current, the motor current will increase because of saturation also. So these two effects will overheat the machine at low speeds. So the drawbacks at low speeds limit the minimum speed of the machine to 10% of the base speed. Okay, so these drawbacks can be overcome using a pulse width modulated inverter. So here in 6-step inverter, the low frequency harmonics are dominant, and these are the effects of the low frequency harmonics. So using a PWM inverter, we are going to overcome these drawbacks. So that we'll discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.